Hey, what's up? It's DFS and Bets, week 17. I'm Holden. I got Travis Mangone from the Run Pure Sports side, and of course, the Keg, Sports Keg from the Bet side. Hey, like this video, just hit the thumbs up. Mangone, why don't you do your thumbs up thing? We love that.
You're forcing it now too much. I was just
I'm
trying.
not, just do it.
All right, well, yes, hit the two thumbs up, as JJ says, for us over here at Run Pure Sports, Run Pure Bets. We appreciate it a ton. Whenever you pop in and see our content, just hit that like button so we don't have to tell you to.
And the NBA is back. We're doing premium shows all over the place. JSU and I are going to be doing, we'll continue to do our show Up the Lock, the final countdown, Monday through Friday. Mangone, I know you hopped on there this week. You'll be hopping on as the season goes on too. All of our analysts too. What else we got for NBA premium?
Yeah, we have tons of NBA premium stuff. We actually started, me and Hoop started this new thing up. It's the cash chart where it shows all the cash game plays that we are considering for the slate. So that's basically like, hey, like if you have like 2v2 questions and you look at the cash chart, if the guy's not there, probably not going to play him in cash games unless it's like breaking news that just kind of happened not too recently. So that's kind of one thing that we came up with. We give our core plays in there as well, highlight those in green. That's gone pretty well so far. So no complaints there. And then we got the core plays from the tournament guys, Big T, AP, JSU, tons of people in there. Even Uncle T is in there. Tons of people giving out their core plays. And we have a ton of live shows, right? You talked about your final countdown. We also have on this specific channel coming up at, I believe, 5 or 5:15, typically at 4:45, but because it's a 7:30 slate, it's a little later. We got Big T and Hoop doing tons of free shows for you guys.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Kegger, what's going on the bet side, man? You can add the bet side for $20 if you already got a Run Pure Sports subscription. And the NBA, you guys are off to a good start.
Yeah, that side's humming, man. College basketball plays up there every day. Spread and Tyler getting the NBA off the ground. NFL has been great. We had a great weekend. No Thursday night football game live show, but we will be on Friday for the college football playoff doubleheader on the Run Pure Bets YouTube. And it's been going well.
Just also want to mention one thing for Mangone on the NBA side. As our buddy JT Hayes, who is, I do baseball shows with him during that season, put $240 in and ended up winning $30,480 because of a late swap that Mangone recommended in the Discord. Congrats, Mangone. You get nothing and like it.
Yeah, I said to him, when he said, I said, oh, drinks on JT when I see him. He said, oh, I owe you one. So maybe I get a drink out of it. We've earned a drink. But hey, I'm happy for JT, man. He made a really good team, actually. I looked at it. But that's the bonus with being in a Run Pure Sports member, right? Being a Run Pure Sports member, not only the bonus is you get discount on the bet side, you get it for a little bit cheaper, but you get to be in that Discord chat where tons of people are dropping plays on the bet side and then on the Run Pure Sports side. I mean, we're talking about like late swap news. I was going back and forth on, do I go Mike Muscala? Do I go Roby? It was a really tough call, but ultimately I thought that there was more risk to Muscala. And I also thought it was such a close call. Why not just take the lower owned guy at 4% and maybe leverage the field completely? And Muscala still did pretty good, but Roby had a nice one. And then I think because of that, it gave JT the money also later on to make a swap off of someone else, or maybe he made the swap. I think Monte Morris was still cheap, so he made that swap from Nas Reed to Morris as well. So he was making swaps all night basically, and JT had a good time. So sports side's going well. Jay over there got 8 units on the bet side in the NFL weekend. So it's going pretty well over here at Run Pure.
All right, enough self-filleting ourselves. Let's get to these games. We got 6 that we always go through from a bet side and the DFS side. We're gonna go Dallas and the Giants, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Miami, Buffalo, Seattle, San Francisco, Arizona, and the Rams, which, by the way, now there's no Cooper Kupp or Jared Goff, and then Chicago and Green Bay. So let's start here, Kegger, Dallas and the Giants. Dallas laying 3 on the road at New York, with the total being 45. I mean, here's the good thing about this. We know both teams are going to run out their best teams and try, right?
Right, which is a big thing with week 17. That's why I tend to go late week 17. As far as this game, hats off to the Cowboys offense and Andy Dalton. He looked god-awful in the early stint in the beginning of the year. But since he has come back, he's looked really good in the Cowboys offense. You almost forget how good those weapons are on that offense because of how bad they looked with him early in the year, but they're clearly right now a different offense at the end of the year than they were 6 weeks ago. They put on a show last week against the Eagles, 8 yards per play almost on offense. They were really efficient on third down, which was something that they struggled with all year long. And the defense, which is not good, they caused 3 turnovers. They were +2 in the differential. So I don't think that they're playing bad right now. I think they deserve to be the road favorite in this game for sure. But the question is, has there been an overreaction in the marketplace? The Giants, and I said this a month ago on the show, everybody was blowing how good this Giants defense looked in the middle portion of the season. And I was like, yeah, they look good, but who's not going to look good against the Eagles with Wentz, the Redskins, the Cowboys at their worst, and the Bengals? I thought when they played capable offenses in that last month, they would be exposed. That's what happens. The Browns played well against them. Cardinals, Ravens crushed last week on offense. So, now they play a Dallas team that's finally locked in with Andy Dalton. And I think the Giants are going to struggle on Sunday defensively. Yeah. So I'm going to be rooting for them because our guy Joe is a diehard Giants fan. I tailed them with the Giants to win the division, but I think that they're probably going to lose. The Giants offense looks inept right now, and that's being kind. And Dallas is surging at the right time. Now, they might be able to score on that Dallas defense because they still aren't good. They're still outside the top 20 in DVOA. But even still, I think Dallas, unfortunately, gets the job done. The spread is interesting because the look-ahead line on this game a few weeks ago was a pick. So the question is, have the last few weeks warranted a 3-point line move towards the Cowboys? I think it's close. The Giants, they look dreadful. Cowboys playing with a ton of confidence. If the line was 2.5, I think it would be worth taking the shot on this team. But at 3, I'm a little skeptical. I'll probably pass. My gut says we probably don't see 2.5 because the public will probably look at how these two teams have played the last week or two, and they'll probably lay the 3 here. That makes me think we're going to see 3.5 before we see 2.5. Now, the total, full game total pass for me. But what I do like in this game, the Dallas Cowboys team total over 23.5. I think the way that Dallas has played the last 3 weeks, that 23.5 is attainable, especially against a Giants defense that hasn't looked good in a month. So I'm going to say Dallas Cowboys team total over 23.5. And if the Cowboys get to 2.5, I will lean Cowboys.
All right. I'll tell you on that one, Kegger. You got it, buddy. Let's do it. Let's go over to the DFS side. Mangone, before we even get into this game, here, I'm just going to tell you how I'm handling this. There's 7 games early. I'll be playing that slate. There's 8 games late. I'll be playing that slate, and I'll go lighter on the full slate. I know the prize pool isn't as big on the full slate, but 15 games for me is just too much of a pain in the ass, especially when you're late swapping with all this. We don't know who's playing. We don't know if they're going to be game time decisions. How are you handling this slate?
Yeah, before I dive in and handle that, I want to mention a couple things to Jay and ask him a question. So one, you talk about this Giants defense being good. Jay, you've been hanging out with Joey Work a little too much then and his dad. They love the Giants a little too much.
I don't think that they're that good.
Yeah, he said the opposite.
Well, I know, but I'm saying people are talking about it. I'm just saying because you're hanging out with Joey Work too much. I'm a big Giant fan. That's all.
He suckered me into a division bet that I'm going to lose.
All right, so now I want to ask you a question. It sounds like so I have the Cowboys to win the division, and I was offered the books were offering me a cheeseburger on the dollar menu to cash that puppy in maybe 8 weeks ago, but it's still live. I had this thing when Dak was in there, so I've been hanging on, and I can cash it out. But I think I stick, right? I mean, I think I'm in a decent spot. I'm getting half my money back, but I don't know. I feel like the Cowboys have a pretty good shot at taking this thing.
Yeah. Now, do we know if Alex Smith is going to play for Washington?
I don't know.
It is up in the air, right? We know Dwayne Haskins isn't. It is up in the air right now as to whether or not he could play because now he has a calf strain.
But even if Alex Smith plays, Jay, he's him against the Eagles, I feel like the Eagles are way better now.
I don't know. They looked way better last week against Dallas.
Fair, but I guess I didn't watch much of that game. So
I would say if you can get half profit on that bet, I would probably take it if Alex Smith plays. If he doesn't play, I would let it ride.
All right, fair enough. I'll take that in my consideration up until Sunday. I got to figure out what I want to do with that. But Holden, you brought up an interesting point that I haven't thought about. Like, do I just play the, more on maybe the early slate because it's less to digest, and I still feel like there's an edge because there's going to be so much going on, and then play the 4 and just play them all. I typically load up on the main slate the most. So that's a good question. It's one I haven't even thought about. So you think, have you done that in previous weeks, Holden?
I mean, this is the big one. No, I have done this in previous years. I've not. I usually play the early and the late slate, but I'll only throw like a lineup in both. Yeah, because the prize pools just aren't as big in a GPP, and they're nice. You got like a $300,000 or $600,000 prize pool, I think, in the late slate. But this is just how you have to do it. 15 for me is just, there's too much variance there. You have to get lucky at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still okay with it. Obviously, because there's like a lot of games to pick from. What's going to happen is like there's more mistakes for people to make. So I don't know. These are weeks. I'm okay to dive in the mud, right? Like I love slates where you got to dive in the mud. I don't like when you just pull it up and like, oh, this guy's too cheap, so I'm playing this guy. It's all clear. I hate when it's like that because then so many people are on the same stuff and it's 2v2s and 3v3s. Sure, in tournaments it makes sense for leverage opportunities, but I like it when it's a little muddy. So I'm definitely gonna be diving in the mud on the main slate. I might play more on the 1 p.m.s and 4 p.m.s than normal though. So then maybe that's something I should look into a little bit. This game as a whole, like Dallas and the Giants, I'll be short. Like I ain't playing anyone on the Giants, and like Dallas, it's like, man, I think it's going to be a week where there's so much not good value, but there's going to be so many gems that you can find, right? That Amari Cooper, Gallup, and Lamb, they're all interesting options, right? But the problem with playing them is, one, they're not in the dome, right, as normal, which always obviously helps that team. And the second big thing is they're going to eat into each other's production too much, where on a slate like this, I think as the week goes on, a lot of value will open up. And when the value opens up, what's going to happen is these guys that can really eat into each other, like you can't afford to have like a really dusty play. And if like Michael Gallup goes for 4 fantasy points, like good luck. Like, and that's in the range of outcomes. So I think we'll have such strong value. We don't need to go for that. And I understand I want to play teams that have incentive to win. That's another thing I want to be doing on this slate. And yes, the Cowboys do have incentive to win this game, but I personally think that there'll be better opportunities. We could get to Saturday and maybe there's not better ones and I go more to the Cowboys, but I think they're a team that I'm just going to avoid right now.
I'm just looking at this here. So this is funny. This has to do with announcers. CBS had Romo and Nance on the Rams game. And then they just learned, and we're going to talk about Arizona and the Rams, but they just learned that there's no Cup and there's no Goff. And I wonder if they're going to switch it to this game with Dallas and the Giants. I mean, this actually is one of the easier games. And great point there, Mangone, because it's something JSU and I talk about all the time on our premium show leading up the final countdown in the NFL. Pick 3 or 4 games out, attack those games. That's it. Use those players. If you can find value, if you find out that we know Dalvin Cook's not there, so if Madison is available or maybe it's Boone, you go that way and open it up. So it is good. I'm just to make it as simple as I can on myself. Early slate, late slate, and then just a couple of full slate lineups. So again, final countdown. It's for the NFL. We got playoff content. We run our show. JS, first of all, you do the morning wood. And we got Hoop and Big T too. But on Sundays from about 11:30 to 12:45, we went just up to lock last week. 11:30 to 12:45, JSU and I getting you ready for week 17. Okay, Kegger, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Steelers. I mean, we don't have Ben here. So this thing's gotten a little cockamamie too. Cleveland 10-point favorites. The total is 42.5. So Mason Rudolph starting against the Browns. 10 points. Is it too much?
Oh man. This is why like week 17 in the NFL is a tough one every year. I'm generally not like a narrative guy, but like in these weeks, it's all about narratives, motivation, player personnel against backups that matter. Nothing else matters. Like the Steelers decide they don't care what happens in this game, right? So they're sitting Ben, and I think they're sitting other players also this week. And, you know, they basically told the world, we're content with the 3 seed, and we aren't worrying about the Browns this week. So, you know, obviously Roethlisberger being out is the reason why I think the line opened up at 7 initially. Now it's up to like 9.5, 10. I want no part of Mason Rudolph, even when my ever, actually. I never wanted part of Mason Rudolph. So there's no way you can touch the Steelers, right? You can't. I was thinking about, like, maybe could we take the Steelers team total under because it's only 15.5, but it wouldn't shock me to see a bad Browns defense allow Rudolph to hang 16. So on the flip side, I'm not laying 10 with the Browns. I don't care if they're playing a college team. So, you know, now that loss to the Jets doesn't mean anything considering Mayfield didn't have a starting wide receiver on the field. But even still, I'm still not taking the Browns. So my advice is do not bet this game unless teams are playing for their playoff life against other teams with starting personnel in the game. Because other than that, it's just a wild card. So my advice is pass. However, if you're a degenerate gambler and you need to bet on this game, my lean would be under 42.5, because if the Browns can somehow find, you know, a slightly better defense than what we saw against the Jets, they might be able to control Mason Rudolph, and maybe, you know, the Steelers only put up 14 points. And then if that's the case, this game should go under 42.5. So the slightest of leans, if you have to bet the game, under 42.5, but I'm passing.
So let's see here. Mangone, Baker Mayfield's 5.5K on DK. Can you roll him out there against this defense?
Yeah, I think that's like 4.4K too much. Like,
yeah.
I can't. I can't, man. I mean, this like stinks, man. Like, I mean, these games, like this one, it's a 42 total hold in. Like, you know me, I want the 50 totals, right? I want the ones that are higher. I don't want the game. Like, dude, this game is being played in January. I am not stacking up a game in January in Cleveland. Like, there's no way. I want the domes. This is a tough one for me, Holden. So you can make a case for Nick Chubb. And I think that's really it. Like, I mean, Landry's price is kind of priced up a bit from the production he's had recently. I think it's just Nick Chubb and move on in this entire game. Like, I can't get behind Deontay Johnson too much. I think he's an incredible player, and I'll be playing him in the playoffs, right? As long as Big Ben is able to get him the ball. That's one of the kind of the nice things about Big Ben not being able to throw the ball downfield is he has to throw to Deontay, and I just get all these PPR points, right? Just Deontay just eats up PPR production, which is so great and gives him such a great floor and a nice ceiling. But yeah, I mean, it's the Nick Chubb show, and then move on from this game. You can make a case he could have a 2-touchdown game and be a slate breaker if the Steelers just really give up and don't play anyone on defense too, because the Browns, they're going to be trying, right? They're going to be going for this thing and trying to take it down.
What's up with Kareem Hunt, man? Kareem Hunt was fine. He got us 14.2 points, but early in the year, he was getting, let's see here, 24, 14, 19, 18. Chubb went down, and then all of a sudden he's just been blah. It's literally been a little bit disappointing with Kareem Hunt.
Well, yeah, I think it's one of those things he probably, he's a running back, right? I don't know, something to talk about this. I don't know how true this is. He some of these running backs, they get in a rhythm, and he just doesn't get as many opportunities, right, to break a big one. So that's one of the things. I wish they'd use him more in the passing game, like kind of like a receiver. It would be nice to see him do that more. I feel like they're not using him as much for that, but I don't know, the way they run their offense, it doesn't seem like they need to do that. So it's fine, right? Hunt's whatever. If Chubb ever goes down, we'll be on Hunt. It's just one of those things where Chubb is the guy, and Hunt is just kind of taking a back seat. And I'm sure Chubb, whenever Hunt's contract's up, he'll move on to another team because he wants to probably be the main guy. But
as long as he doesn't beat people up on camera, he'll probably get another job with another team. Yes. Again, these are 1:00 games we're talking about. Our next one's going to be Miami and Buffalo. Do want to remind everybody, like the video, as Mangone says, with 2 thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel, which is down at the bottom. Also, Monkey Knife Fight. Hey, Keg, have you tried Monkey Knife? I got to get you in Monkey Knife Fight, dude.
I've never tried it, no.
You got to do it. You're going to be so good at it. Use the code.
He can. He's in New Jersey.
Oh, he's in Jersey. Ah, that's why. Dadgummit.
You're in
Dadgummit.
Jersey with me. We can't.
Well, I'm in Colorado. Everything's legal here. Mushrooms, marijuana, gambling, everything is legal here. And we get monkey knife fight, and I love it. Promo code RUNPURE for a matching deposit up to $50. You put in 50, you get 100 total. Also, we got a contest out there right now. And if you watch our shows, me and Title do Mondays and Thursdays, and then me and Bobby Gomes do Fridays. We picked the 5 for 5 this week. Actually, Title was riding my coattails this week. It was very odd. I picked 5 out of 5. We got a 20x payout, and we won. You know, even if you put $2 in, you get 40 back. But if you put 50 in, do 20x. It's a lot of money. So we're doing well over there. I should probably do this myself then. Tweet us a screenshot of your win. Use the hashtag RPSMKF. We'll pick 2 winners for T-shirts. You'll get a T-shirt. And I know the bet side is working on a T-shirt. It's got a bad word on it, but I like it. RPSMKF. Run Pure Sports, Monkey Knife Fight. We'll pick 2 winners for shirts. Use that hashtag there. When are those T-shirts coming out, Keg? Come on.
Yeah,
give them to me.
We got a T-shirt store that's going to be up and live probably next week.
Good. I'm looking forward to it. But you'll get a Run Pure Sports T-shirt here sooner than later if you tweet that out. Miami at Buffalo, another 1 o'clock game. This line has swung all the way from a pick'em. Well, this is a while ago. It was -5.5. Now it's a 1 point favorite here for the Bills. Miami on the road. The total is 44.5. So here we go again, Keg. Buffalo, they don't want to say if they're starting their starters or not. I don't know what's going on there. Miami's rolling Tua out. Why? It doesn't make sense. Maybe, Mango, maybe this week we should just throw Ryan Fitzpatrick in a lineup at 0.1% ownership and just hope that it pays off.
Let me ask you a question. Are we sure that there hasn't been news? Because when I was prepping for the show last night, the line was Bills -3. Now it's 1.5. There hasn't been.
Yeah, McDermott said he doesn't know if his starters are playing or not. He goes, we have a plan. We're not going to tell you.
Okay.
I mean, that's all I can find on it, though.
All right, so here's a hot take. Tua Tagovailoa stinks. All right?
Is that a hot take? I don't think he's good. I don't know. Maybe people like him and I don't realize it, but I think
if we are grading everything that we have seen from this kid on the field so far, the kid's hot garbage. He stinks. Like, it was a really bad look for him to have less than 100 passing yards against a bottom 3 defense in the league. Then you got the Magic Man comes in with 8 minutes left in the game, and he throws for 180 yards and brings the team back to a comeback win. I mean, listen, I'm a B-Flow guy, all right? I'm a Flores fan, but if he doesn't start Ryan Fitzpatrick on Sunday, which he's not going to, that is an awful, terrible decision. Like, the team has a real chance to make the playoffs. They're good enough to make some noise, I think, in the playoffs if Fitzpatrick actually plays. They did name a starter. I know, obviously, it's going to be Tua. I just think they're a better team with Fitzpatrick. He gives them a much better chance to win with a good defense. And even though the defense struggled against the Raiders, they're still on the brink of being a top 10 defense. As far as the Bills, they are a very good football team. They are clearly the second best team in the AFC. It's not even close right now, in my opinion. All the smart money was on the Patriots on Monday night. They got crushed. Sometimes the public side wins. 81% of the money was on the Bills, and they did what they do every week. The one thing that you can pretty much pencil the Bills in for every week is they're going to score 30 on no matter what defense that you put out there. So here's an interesting stat. This season, the Bills have played 5 teams that were in the top 10 in defensive DVOA, and they hung 30 on all 4 out of 5 teams. So that's pretty good. Allen's a superstar. If the starters play, they're going to hang 30 on the Dolphins like any other week. The question is the motivation, right? With a win, they lock up the 2 seed. But what does that really mean this year? Because the 2 seed doesn't get a bye. I guess that means that they're playing for home field advantage throughout, aside from the Kansas City game. I guess that's it. Now, Holden said we're not sure. McDermott doesn't know what he's going to do. If Buffalo plays their starters and it's business as usual, and Tua is the starting quarterback, which he will be, I like Buffalo here. The look-ahead line was 5.5 in this game. What has changed the last few weeks for this game to go from 5.5 or 3.5 3 weeks ago to 1.5 now? The Bills have met expectations in the marketplace 5 straight weeks, 5 straight covers. So if Allen plays and that offense plays, this line should not be 1.5. Now, we won't know, I guess, until Sunday. But if they're playing that game and the starters are out on the field, I like the Bills minus 1.5. As for the total, I like the over here. If Allen plays, the Bills should do what they do every week. And even if Tua struggles in the beginning, there's going to be a short leash, and we're going to see Fitzpatrick come in, try to save the season. And he's definitely good enough to hang points on a Bills defense that has been inconsistent and average at best this year. So that should push the total up and over 46, 47. I see some Wall Shores hanging 46. I think you have to hit the over if Josh Allen and that offense plays. Other than that, you're on your own.
So let me ask you something real quick about the line moves. Is it always like up and down during the week? Like you could see a line at 5.5 down to 1 and back to 5.5, right? Depending on the news.
Normally, you don't see moves that are
4 points, but what about like a 2 to 2.5 point move? Just because?
Yeah.
Right?
We saw there have been multiple games in the last few weeks that have gone down 2 points, and back up 2.5 points during the week, which is weird line move. Normally, what you see is the line moves a certain way, and then on Sunday morning, you get slight buyback on that number. Slight buyback, a 0.5 point, maybe a point. But yeah, this year, there have been some peaks and valleys each week with certain games.
It's been nuts. All right, let's go over here, Mangone, with this side. I mean, if Allen's in there, how do you at least not take a shot there? Diggs is coming off a huge game. We don't know if John Brown will be back or not. And then on the other side with Miami, what the hell are you going to do with Miami? Like, even if they play, when Tua's down there, when Tua's under center, how do you even play any of the Dolphins besides for maybe one of the running backs?
Yeah, I mean, I've only played the running backs really since he's been down. So yeah, I mean, I had Gaskin last week, actually. That was a good time. So yeah, it's this game's rough. I will say the guy, and like maybe it's because I have a problem rostering him. I love playing him. He's so talented, and he should have had a touchdown on Monday night. Could we see like Diggs kind of not really play? Could we see Beasley just chill and like Gabe Davis just like emerges and like at 3.6K, like he could really, do pretty well. Maybe if they just say, hey, like we're not going to play Diggs, but maybe they decide let's play Allen for a half, right? Like Diggs could easily break one in like the first half and then like play a little bit in like the second half, not the whole way, right? And get some action. So he could be like a value play that becomes in the conversation, I think, on the main slate. But I don't love this game. You also have to deal with Singletary and Moss. Unless like one of them is confirmed out, then I wouldn't want to deal with it. You could make a case that like maybe the Bills just want to kind of get out of that game and establish the run a ton. And that could help Singletary or Moss if you know that one guy is the guy. But again, we talk about incentive. There's not a lot of incentive here. So I think on this game, I am out. All
right. Very good. We got Seattle, San Francisco too. This will be a 425 game. I don't see anybody really sitting for San Francisco at this point, right? And then as far as Seattle, they need to get their shit together.
They could get a number 1 seed.
Yeah. Seattle, yeah, at this point. It's amazing because offensively, they just aren't the same team. They're trying to throw at Russ. He's not the same guy that he was when he's at MVP form. They're trying to run the ball. They haven't been quite as successful as they have been in years past. Right now, Seattle laying 5 on the road at San Francisco with the total sitting at 46. I'm going to assume that everyone's playing in this game.
Yeah, me too.
And I think San Francisco is going to put up a hell of a fight too.
Yeah, and credit to Pete Carroll for finally getting the defense right. They're like now like a top 16 defense, and they were outside the top 25 for a large part of the year. And they're a complete football team right now, even though Russ hasn't been cooking, like you said. And he's not playing anywhere near as well as he was in the beginning of the year, but they're definitely playing better as a complete team right now because the defense for the first half of the year was a complete shit show. So, I think come playoff time, we usually see a better version of Russell Wilson, right, than we've seen the last 6 weeks. He usually rises to the occasion when all the chips are down. Like you said, motivation's not going to be a problem for Seattle. They still have a chance to grab the 1 seed, and they're going to come to play on Sunday for sure. I would have liked to see the offense play better than they did last week, but they were playing a top 3 defense. So I guess just getting the job done to me is good enough when you're playing that defense. 49ers, like you said, won a game last week that I didn't really think that they would win. Credit to JJ. He had a great call with the Niners on the spreadsheet last week. But, the Niners are tough to back with a third-string quarterback sometimes, man. The defense, though, has played really well. Even missing their best defensive player all year, they're still a top 8 defense when the dust settles at the end of the season. So I think with everything that Shanahan has had to deal with this year, they still have a chance to win 7 games this year. All things considered, I think that's impressive. And I completely agree with you. I think that they're going to come to play and give Seattle probably everything that they can handle. I still have some work to do on the game, but the spread feels like it's a dog or pass spot. I think you only look to take the points probably with San Francisco, or you pass the side completely. The total is intriguing, though. You have 2 teams playing really good defense right now, and that makes me lean under here. There are some 46.5s out there, considering that Russ isn't cooking right now, and that defense is finally locked in, and Beathard could definitely struggle against a defense that seems to be surging. It makes me lean under. I feel like this number should be 44.5, not 46.5, 47. So if I was going to play anything in this game, I'll lean under here. As far as the side, dog or pass.
Dog or pass. Very good. Come on, man, going. You got to give me something here. Is DK Metcalf finally going to be alive? Is George Kittle going to go bananas again? Something's got to be alive in this game.
Yeah, so we'll talk Seattle first.
Right.
The running backs are not alive. I'm out. Like, no thanks. I don't think I need to go to Russell Wilson, but I don't hate it. So I think you can attack Seattle through the air here if you want to. My problem is Tyler Lockett. Like, the price is good, 5.8K, but I think he's a better FanDuel play than DraftKings play. And the reason why is I like his touchdown equity better than him from like a PPR perspective. Like, he's not a guy that's just getting peppered with targets, right? If you always look at his like Vegas prop, his receptions prop is never that high, but his receiving prop is really high. And it's typically because he can catch like a longer pass. They don't actually pepper him through the pass game as much as you think for like 5-yard passes. So I have some problems there with him. Price isn't bad though over on DraftKings. If you do have the money to spend up, which I think we will have money to spend on some studs, DK Metcalf is in play, I think. The question is, will he be the guy you want to spend on? Is he going to be worth the money? Well, there's a guy later on that's going to be worth the money, which is why I don't think DK Metcalf is worth the money. We'll get to it when we get to that game. But yeah, DK Metcalf, I just don't think I'll do because I want to spend my money elsewhere. I guess
who that wideout's going to be holding.
Probably, I think it's going to be Equinemius St. Brown, but we'll see. We'll see if I'm close.
Yeah, we'll see if you're close on that one. And then on the Niners side, I don't really want to mess around with these receivers too much. If I think is Brandon Ayuk out, because if Ayuk's out, Richie James is obviously at 3.1K. We saw him explode in that one game, right? There was no I know Beathard wasn't there. It was I think it was Mullins throwing the ball, or maybe it was still Garoppolo then, but Richie James exploded when a lot of these guys were out, right? You could see him explode here again. The problem is Kittle is back, right? And Kittle is there. And it is a decent spot for Kittle at 6K. I think if you have the money to spend at tight end, it might be worth going up to Kittle this week. Again, roster construction is going to be key. I like to build the player pool out, and I think Kittle makes the player pool, and he could be a strong cash game consideration. But if I have money to spend at my other positions and think it makes more sense, I'll do that. But if I got money to spend at tight end, I think Kittle's going to be the top guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you this much. The guy from this game I love, and He actually had a huge week for me. I think it was back. God, they were playing the Patriots. I'm going to go Jeff Wilson. I mean, when this guy starts, he gets 100 yards and he scores. It's amazing. He got 27.4 DK points last week. I don't care what matchup he's in. Like, if he's back there and he's the lead dog, he's my guy.
Yeah. So here's
the first touchdown, Cash.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He got that too.
I guess my only issue, Holden, like, and maybe like I think so. You kind of had me thinking like before this game even started. I said I know Holden's gonna like Wilson. I don't mind Wilson.
How'd you know? How'd you know?
You love him, man.
I love him.
You love Jeff.
I do love him.
Just like I like St. Brown's. So you like Wilson.
Oh, you actually like Equanimity St. Brown? I was just throwing it out there. Maybe that was just like subconscious.
No, I was referencing him.
You're trying to make a joke. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. So Wilson is the guy here that he makes sense if it fits the slate. I just feel like the way the slate's going to go, and like, again, news can change and it can shift. I think it's going to turn into stars and scrubs kind of slate where like he just hits this mid tier that doesn't need to be touched really. Again, maybe I'm wrong. I should probably have him in the pool and in the conversation. But I do think by like Friday, he just kind of leaves the pool and he's just out. But he makes sense in tournaments. I think it's a good call there.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I'm saying. I'm not even talking about cash. I mean, here's my guys just early week. Lamar Jackson. Then you gotta go Jonathan Taylor against Jacksonville. And then, we'll get to the big guy before it's all said and done. But okay. So we have, what do we got next, boys? We just did Arizona and the Rams, didn't we? A little while ago. We got to do it now. Arizona and the Rams.
That is a fun one to talk about. Let me kick in with this because I want to talk about this. What are we doing with this John Wolford guy, right? Like this dude's an Alliance football member.
Nothing.
He's 4.9K and can he run a bit? I thought he can run a little. And 4.9K, I'm pretty sure he can. I admit I haven't watched too much on him, but he's 4.9K. If he gives you all the studs, like Holden, this is a slate. We have Devontae Adams on. I already talked about him before we got there. Lock and load. We have Derrick Henry against the Texans. Holden. Like, I want these guys. Like, there are big dogs to pay for on this slate, right? And if John Wolford makes it work, or Wolford, whatever his name is, like, I might have to sign up for it. He's really cheap. I mean, I thought he'd be cheaper than this, 4.9K.
But if we could save elsewhere, why go with a jabroni quarterback? Like, if there's going to be that much value, just throw Lamar in there and find some jabronis at other positions.
Yeah, so it's if he can, right? If you have the value. But, like, it is a position where you can do that. I swear I feel like this guy can run, though. Maybe I'm wrong, but he was definitely a guy that I see people talking about a ton and say that he's actually not that bad. And they also don't really have a run game right now. I shouldn't say they don't have a run game, but they have injuries there, right? Like, are you okay, Holden, like just running Malcolm Brown out there for every snap? Like he again is going to be a value play we probably look to, and maybe this is why we don't need to play John Wolford, but Malcolm Brown at 4.3K, that's another great value play that we're going to have to consider. Now, if like Xavier Jones splits the snaps up too much, that's going to be a problem. But I think Malcolm Brown is going to be the guy at 4.3K. If it helps me get Derrick Henry and Devontae Adams, like sign me up. Also, again, talking about having value, we don't have Cooper Kupp, and I forgot Cooper Kupp's not going to be there. Josh Reynolds at 3.2, like, he was already pretty good. People were already kind of playing him at that 3.5K price tag. So maybe go to him. The question is, can John Wolford get him the ball, though, right? That is a question. And listen, I'm not trying to say John Wolford's any good, but I don't know. Jared Goff is whatever. I don't think he's like the greatest quarterback in the world. So I think Josh Reynolds at 3.2 could be really interesting. You could see him getting peppered in the slot a ton. So like him, and even Robert Woods at 6.3 isn't a terrible price tag. We see them get him involved in the run game a ton. And maybe this is a week that they say, screw it. Like, we got Malcolm Brown and Josh Reynolds, the other guys. Let's just really target up Robert Woods and let's get him the ball a lot more. Maybe he has like 4 rush attempts, which like would be a lot for Robert Woods. So I think there's a lot to like on this Ram side because of the value that it provides. I know the total's terrible at 18.75. And again, maybe we might get some more value later on, but that's where I am on the Rams. Yeah,
Wolford was the Belk Bowl MVP in 2017. He ran for 19 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, he's a runner, man. I mean, this is running quarterbacks, Holden. They unlock everything. Running quarterbacks are king.
Yeah. Okay.
They don't have to be good. They can be like Tua.
Keg, I apologize. Mangone had some premature verbal ejaculation there. We always get to the bet side quick, but he was so excited about Wofford, I think he's gonna
love a running quarterback, Holden.
It's just ends with Wofford. Oh my God, you love him so much. Keg.
Yes, buddy.
let's get it. Thank God.
Listen, this will be short and sweet. From a betting perspective, this game is a mess, man.
Isn't it off the board in most places? Because it opened at like 5 and now it's 1. And
I found 2 places offshore that are even hanging a total right now for this game.
40? Is it even at 40?
Yeah, 139.5, 140. Yep.
Right, I would think, yeah.
So, I mean, listen, Rams are in with a win, but they're not going to have Goff. They're not going to have Kupp, whoever else isn't going to play. And the Cardinals also have, I think right now they have a 46% chance to make the playoffs. But there's a good chance that Kyler Murray will not play, right?
Well, I wouldn't say there's a good chance. How about that? There's a lower leg injury, which, by the way, is the second big injury here over the last, 8 weeks or so. But I think right now the plan is that he's going to play and rest this week. That's what I'm seeing.
Okay. Well, okay. If you're telling me it's Wolford against Kyler Murray, now CBS Sportsline model, right? They ran 5,000 projections, and they still have the Rams winning with Wolford over Kyler Murray with the Cardinals. I'm not sold on that. I think that there's a good chance that Murray, if he can play and he can play like he normally plays and he can get out and run. I don't think the Cardinals are a good football team, but they might be able to beat a team led by John Wolford. That might be possible.
I don't know, Mangone. I mean, that's your boy. How are you letting Keg talk about your boy like this? This is
but then again,
the ceiling is high for John Wolford. Maybe he steals.
Here we go.
Maybe he steals his job, Keg.
Here we go. What do you got Wolford projected for this week? 40.
I'd have to look. I'd have to look at some of this stuff. But again, it's like the thing I like to say is I will play running quarterbacks even if they're terrible. I mean, this one didn't work out, but I rostered a running quarterback in football. He was 5'6", weighed 160 pounds, but he could run. Any guy that can run, I'm gonna sign up for. And again, sometimes they bust, but they have a massive, massive floor. We've seen it with Jalen Hurts. Everyone was talking last week, Pat Mahomes is the best. We need to play Pat Mahomes. And I was like, give me Jalen Hurts floor instead at the rushing. That's what I want. Sign me up for that.
All right.
I get it. But
the side's a total pass because I don't want to guess who's going to win this game. But I will say, with that Rams defense, as good as it is, and the fact that the Rams are starting a backup quarterback that you have no idea how many points they're going to score, I think the game probably goes under 40. The problem is you can't really get a total right now at any book legally in the country, I don't think. So, if people can get a 40, it might be worth a half unit shot to take a stab on the under. Aside from that, find another game on this slate to bet. This isn't the one.
What is Here's a question here. What is who's the backup there in Arizona? Because a
guy I've never heard of in my entire life. Sylvester, I think is his name.
I see Shrevler, but
Shrevler, and then Hundley behind him.
Oh, Hundley's gonna get in there then.
I would think.
Chris Shrevler, give me a break. What are we doing here? South Dakota's own.
They're no John Wolford, but I think the Rams defense, that's going to be a really interesting play if Kyler sits, right? This is a week where I think paying for defense later on the season makes sense because unless obviously we get a cheap defense that's in a great spot, but I think looking for defenses that are in clear spots where there's going to be a disaster that goes on. Last week, I felt like the Haskins situation was a disaster waiting to happen. And, the Panthers definitely did their number on him. Obviously, I know they got the touchdown on the, special teams, but it's not like Haskins did any favors, right, to help that out. When you put up a lot of punch, you get more opportunities to take them to the house. So, I think that looking for disaster situations is definitely worth looking at those defenses. So, definitely be on the lookout for an elite defense against the backup quarterback.
It's amazing. Yeah, that is. And there's probably going to be a few of them, right? There's going to be a few games where we got a bunch of stiffs back there. I got to believe Kyler's playing no matter what.
That's what I would think too.
Can you guys remember what this was like though? what was it, maybe 12 weeks ago? Kyler and Russell Wilson for MVP. Yeah. Kyler was running for 100 yards a game, it seemed like. His AC joint gets hurt, stops running, not the same guy ever since. And then on the other side, I mean, what the Rams, forget about it. Goff, they're going to bring somebody in against Goff. I mean, it might be one of these guys. Huntley might be the guy next year. And somebody might be the guy. Goff has been horrible.
Been horrible. And the Cardinals are a bad football team. They're not that good.
No. They really were smoke and mirrors because of Kyler Murray running. Seriously. Yep. Their offense was doing. Mangone, any other players you want to talk about in this game?
Yeah, I can't get behind the Cardinals side, so we're out.
All right, peace out on that one. Chicago, Green Bay, last game we're going to talk about, 425 game. The Packers are 5.5-point favorites on the road with a total at 51.5. Hey, are we still buying into Trubisky here, Kegger? We still buying into Trubisky? Can he do it?
Listen, man, I'll tell you what. The Bears are an offense that has been really impressive since Trubisky has come back. I shit on this kid all year, especially early in the year, but you have to give the kid his due. And right now, he's locked in, he's confident, and he's playing as well as I think we have ever seen him play. And I think he has played well enough where the Bears are going to have to make a really tough choice to either pay this kid, which I think now they almost have to do after the last 5 weeks, or let him go, which I don't see how they do that now. Maserati Mitch looks pretty good, Kush.
Maserati Mitch. What are you talking about, Maserati Mitch? Did you just give him that, or did someone say that?
Listen, maybe I have my own nickname for Mitch.
That is the worst nickname ever because he is not a Maserati. He is
neither here nor there.
Okay? I don't want to know what nickname you've given me, but Maserati Mitch, I don't want that one.
Listen, it seems like the Bears are putting up 30 every week now. And if the Bears make the playoffs and they remain this locked in offensively, it would not shock me to see them make some noise in the first round of the playoffs if they can get in. Got a top 10 defense. It's been a top 10 defense all year. And the way that offense is playing, I think they're dangerous. On the other side, Rodgers, man, he locks up the MVP in the snow against the Titans last weekend. He deserves it. He's been outstanding this year. Yes, he has the best wide receiver in the game right now. Yes, he has one of the best running back rooms in the league, but still, he's been flawless, and the offense is as locked in as they have been in 3 years. So I don't think anybody in the league right now can stop this team from hanging 30. I really don't. They're playing like a video game right now, Kush. I mean, it's stupid. Like, and what's getting lost in the offense is quietly the analytics say that the defense is a top 15 defense to end the year. You wouldn't know it because all anybody does is talk about the offense. Now, do I think the eye test tells me that they're a top 15 defense, even though they look good in the snow? No, I don't think so. But that's what the numbers say. Right now, them and the Saints are the two best teams in the NFC. And, Rodgers still has something to play for. They're still trying to get the number 1 seed and that bye. As far as the spread, it's a tough game, man. Rodgers loves to shit on this team, especially at Soldier Field. Like, he lives for it. But with the way this Bears offense has looked for the last month, I'm going to lean to take the 5 points right now. I'm still going to dig into this game a little more, but on the surface, with the way that the Bears are playing right now and they're home, it seems like you almost just have to snap and take the 5. Now, the total at 52 feels tricky. It's a division game. The defenses are going to be flying around. There's going to be a ton of emotion. Both teams have something to play for. Bears trying to make the show. Packers trying to get the 1 seed. And that makes me want to lean under, right? And I think the smart money this week is going to lean under too. I think the public is going to say, look at these two offenses. Look at what they've done over the last 5 weeks. 52 is attainable. Give me the over. And I think the Sharps are going to come in on the under. and it makes me want to lean under here. So I will regret this probably, but I'm gonna say under 52 here.
Aren't you a sharp though? Like you said, the sharps are going to, but this is you're a sharp.
Yeah, but when I say that, I'm talking about like Vegas money and the syndicates. That's what I'm talking about.
How do you get to be part of a syndicate, by the way?
I don't know, but I can guarantee you one thing: I don't have enough money to get in.
You got to have a lot of money to do a syndicate.
Like, it's tens of millions.
Tens of millions to move the line.
Literally, like those syndicates are made of like a couple $100 million.
Okay, so my $100 bet on each of these games is not going to move the line.
Probably not letting you in the syndicate now.
That sucks. Mangone, Chicago, Green Bay, my friend. What do you think? Equinimia, St. Brown time, baby.
Yeah. So I want to talk first. I don't think the Bears like offense, like, so I've been riding them. They've been great, but like, dude, they
settle down.
You settle down. You settle down over there.
I know that you slob Rodgers and you're a Packers. All right, but can we settle down?
Yeah. How about you settle down? You, me, and Holden could go out there and talk.
You settle down.
Lions, Houston, Minnesota, and Jacksonville. I mean, those aren't statement like games you put up points. Like, it's just not. And yes, do I get excited about Rodgers? Yes. Do I need to give you a reason to be excited about Rodgers this week? No. I'm probably playing him as my number one quarterback. He's the man. I love Adams too, but I am going to give you a ridiculous narrative because, hey, Jay, you said this is the week for narrative. So I have an absurd one for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So the absurd narrative is, Jay, I mean, you got an X, right? You always want to stick it to your X, right?
I got 2 X's, actually.
You want to stick it to both of them, right? You're telling me Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to stick it to Danica Patrick, who's a massive Bears fan, and make sure that she is miserable on Sunday, because if he beats up those Bears, he sticks it to
these are the notes he comes up with. This is what he does.
How do we call ourselves professionals?
Yeah. He's like, you know what? Screw it. It's week 17. We don't know who's playing. Let me bring up the Danica Patrick thing. You know, what else you got for us, Mangone?
It's week 17. Let's have a fun reference. You know, let's have a good time. You know, I mean, so
I'm trying to win money. I'm not trying to Danica Patrick. And yes, having ex-wives sucks. The worst. 100%. It's the worst.
So that's what I'm saying, man. So you want to stick it to the X, and that's what Rodgers is going to do.
He was never married to her. He didn't like have to give her half his fortune, or they're just like, get away from me. We had sex for a couple years. Yeah, we only saw each other once a month. Get away.
And then he went to go smash Olivia Munn. I mean, what do you?
No, he didn't.
No, it was the other way around.
Okay.
It was the other way around.
You got it wrong.
All right.
He does seem like, you know, I've always been an Aaron Rodgers fan, but nobody this year has made more like I'm frustrated with my receivers' faces than Aaron Rodgers. It's like he always looks like he's pissed off lately. I don't know what he's playing great, but he's like, and he blames his receivers all the time. It's never his fault. The only one he leaves alone is Devontae. Everybody else sucks.
Yeah, no, I mean, but he always makes those faces at them. But the other thing too, and another narrative, this is probably a better one. He's going for the MVP, guys. Like he's going for the MVP.
Not. He's got it already. What do you mean? That's locked up.
Well, yeah, of course, but you got to put the final stamp on it, man. He just got to put. If he goes out there and doesn't, if he goes out there and doesn't have a good game, I mean, people will they'll start arguing and making cases. I think he has it. I have money on it. I have a good amount of money on it.
Cash that ticket. That's done.
Listen, so you want to give me the money now? We can just cash it now. You can just.
I'm telling you, that's done.
Then PayPal me it now, so I have it. I just want to take it now. Then, if that's the case, then I'll PayPal it back when it hits. You know what I mean?
Done.
Yeah,
it's done.
Works for me. So now I get a guaranteed ticket from you guys. If not, I get paid. So that's how I like to see it. But yeah, Devontae Adams. We'll talk about him for a little because he's one of the best receivers in the league, and he's going to be a must spend. I think in cash games and tournaments. Like, I think I'm going to be just jamming in Rodgers. I'm going to be jamming in Adams. I'm going to be jamming in Henry this week. I feel like that's going to be kind of the route I go. Fill out some value. Call it a day. I mean, it seems like a good time to do that. And hey, I don't mind running it back with Allen Robinson a little bit. My only worry is like Jair Alexander is really good. Now he doesn't always follow guys. Sometimes he plays different parts of the field. But I don't know. He could end up following Allen Robinson a ton. And when like it comes down to it and they need to feed like Allen Robinson, like there are times, you notice Mitch Trubisky, whenever it's like 4th and 2, he makes sure to get it to Allen Robinson because he's old, reliable. But maybe on some of those bigger possessions, they make sure to stick Jair Alexander on Robinson, which could be a semi-concern, but it's a good run back option.
Any cockamamie things you'd like to bring up, Keg, to kind of balance out Mangone? By the way, here, sir, let's have a serious discussion for a second. Is Davante Adams now the best wide receiver in the NFL? You know, it was Mike Thomas at this point in time last year. Is he number one? And if he's number one, can he give it up after a year? Like, who's number one, guys?
I don't know how you could say anybody right now this year is playing better than that kid.
Well, so I'll play devil's advocate. What if DeAndre Hopkins is on the Packers and Davante Adams is on the Cardinals? How do you feel it?
That's fair. It definitely has something to do with Rodgers.
Yeah, I mean, I think that always plays into it. I mean, a lot. Like, I never wanted to just go out and be like, this guy and receivers, no doubt, like the best guy. Like, it's clear. Unless it's like clear and obvious, then I'll say it. But I don't feel like it's clear and obvious because I think Hopkins is that good, and I think if you flip the situations, I think it would be, pretty close. So that's just kind of my take.
A couple things I want to leave you with. First of all, just reading a transcript here from the Patriots press conference. Bill Belichick on Sam Darnold. I know he's getting good coaching. I don't think he could get better coaching than where he's at.
The rumor is Gase is going to go be an assistant coach over there in New England.
Good. Have a good time. So he's going to take, who is it? McDonald? What the hell is his name?
Josh McDaniel.
McDaniel. Duh. Yeah. McDaniel's job. Is that it?
I think that's what they're hinting at. Yeah.
Yeah. He's going there then. That's it. If he's saying he couldn't get better coaching anywhere, he's gone. Gase is going up there. They already made the deal.
Get him out.
Why would Gase go to, like, why does Belichick want New England? Why does Belichick want Gase?
I don't know.
I just heard.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Gase was great when Peyton Manning was his offensive coordinator. You know, that's how the guy got a job. Peyton Manning would call the plays. He'd stand on the sideline, say, yep, do that. And he got a job that way. So, well, McDaniel kind of did the same thing with Belichick, right? And then he went out to Denver and he sucked.
Quickly.
I think McDaniel was too young, by the way. Like, I think he wasn't ready for it. I don't think the situation was good either. Wasn't that during the Tebow era too?
Well, he turned down a job a couple of years ago, though, right after he accepted it.
Yeah, I mean, I think because the one reason why is, like, I think McDaniels knows that, like, he can get any job he wants right now. Like, if McDaniels asks for a job, he can probably get it for the most part. Obviously, he's not getting Kyle Shanahan's job, but, like, when you have that type of power, like, and especially when you already had one failed, like, thing, like, not to get down the Jameis Winston rabbit hole we talked about, but, like, Jameis Winston has, like, one more shot and it's over, right? So, like, you got to make sure you pick whatever spot you pick. Don't go out there and pick, like, hanging out with Adam Gase, like, at the Jets, if that was the option Jameis Winston could have had. I'm not saying it was, but make sure it's a good choice where you're going to set yourself up for success, not for failure.
Before we go, reminder, Friday at 4:30, anybody that wants to come and hang out, do some college football playoff live betting. We'll be live on the Run Pure Bets YouTube channel for the doubleheader. Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama, Notre Dame, starting at 4:30. It's a free show. Come check it out.
I will say this, the live show seriously just been crushing it. I think a little of your first touchdown thing rubbed off on me because I had Devontae the other night. I had, what was it, the Packers and the Titans? And I took Devontae and Henry. I was like, there's two studs here. Devontae hit it like 6-1. It was wonderful.
We got Zach, another one. Zach Moss at 13-1.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You're rubbing off. I'm getting them right now.
It
really
go.
is. Let's go.
We're here.
I've had some stuff going on my end. I have not been on the live show enough lately. So I'm going to try my
I gotta
ass
be
to
honest. We miss you, buddy.
Okay. All right. I'll try and get there. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Hit the like button. The final countdown is up later today. It's a premium show, me and JSU leading up to tip-off. So sign up for premium. Check out me and JSU tonight, final countdown. Do not forget the bet side for an extra $20. Mango, and anything else you got going on, buddy? I know you're doing so much NBA stuff. I'm tailing you there. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm in the bet side throwing some NBA stuff in there. We're doing good, not too bad. So can't complain. I'll see if I can get another one up today. But NBA's been going good, been enjoying it, and excited to kind of get into that like NBA rhythm and groove because like football's been I love football. I love having like random like game times for football, but I kind of want to get in a nice little rhythm, and I'm excited for that. And who knows, maybe I'll hop on the live show on Friday too to sweat some college football because man, I don't know. These games are not going to be that good. And like, I'm sick of Alabama, Clemson, so I need a reason to make it fun. So maybe I'll come hang out with you guys.
Come hang out. Yeah, definitely.
I thought you were going to be like, no, don't hang out with us.
No, I mean, that's a reason.
No, I'm not saying that to Keg. I thought Keg was going to ban you.
No, come on. Mangone fucks, man.
Yeah, settle down over there, Holden.
Yeah. Both you guys got to come on.
All right, guys. All right. Everybody.
Is that New Year's Eve, by the way? I'm just realizing. Is that the game's on New Year's? It's on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always do that.
Oh yeah, tomorrow's New Year's Eve. I'm thinking it wrong. So there you go. Okay.
Anyways, Simon, thanks for making us look pretty. We appreciate it. Check out Run Pure Bets. Keg's over there. Check out Run Pure Sports. We're over there. And for Mangone and Keg, I'm Holden. Keep running pure.